Does the merger between Warnermedia and Discovery mean for Restore the Snyderverse? Well, here on this video, I will analyze the details that we know as of right now to tell you what the merger between Warnermedia and Discovery means for Restore the Snyderverse. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. You're watching JFG Entertainment with myself. And if you would like more content like this, please subscribe and like the video. It really helps me and you get more content like this. As well as leave your comments down below on your thoughts on this merger. Now, without any more to do, let's get started. This morning, news broke out that Warnermedia and Discovery are merging as one single company, and that they will have one single streaming service. And it's unclear how they're going to do that since they already have Discovery Plus and HBO Max each. So one has to go, or maybe they'll both go and it'll just be a brand new streaming service. I'm not really sure how it'll work. But we also know that the CEO of Discovery will be the CEO of the new company and the new streaming service, yet to be named. This means a lot of things, but for this video and specifically, I'm going to focus on the one side I'm most interested in, and if you clicked on this video, probably the one side that you're the most interested in too, which is, what would this merger mean for restoring the Snyderverse? To start, let's look at why this merger is happening in the first place. There is one main reason for this, and that is that they want to be able to compete against the leading streaming services right now, which are Disney Plus and Netflix, and maybe to some degree Amazon Prime. They do this to be able to have more content to compete, as well as generate more exclusive content. Right now, Netflix spends an average of $17 billion each year on exclusive content. This is clearly seen as last weekend alone, 6 new exclusive content landed in the top 10 of Netflix, which is a huge amount of content to even make in the first place. Disney Plus is nowhere near as much content per week, as well as they spend nowhere near as much as Netflix does yearly, but this is because they have bigger names like Marvel and Star Wars. And Marvel and Star Wars have their own exclusive shows on Disney Plus, and each one of those shows has a new episode almost every week, which makes what could have been a 1 weekend release a 2-month release, which is a very smart strategy and has proven that it works, with examples like The Mandalorian, WandaVision, and Falcon and Winter Soldier. However, even Disney has started to invest even more money, as shown by the last Investor Day that had a whole presentation on how much content they're adding and how big budget they have. Like WandaVision had like a $220 million budget, which is crazy. Going back to HBO Max, apparently AT&T, which owns Warnermedia as of right now, but not for much longer, just doesn't have enough budget to spend on original content for HBO Max, which is why they're selling it to Discovery, and they're getting $43 billion off it. However, they still lost by this sale, but at least they're getting some money back. Now, the merger between Warnermedia and Discovery, if they stay the same, like with their streaming services, like HBO Max and Discovery Plus, if they stay with the same budget, but instead they combine them, then they would have a total of $20 billion of budget per year, which beats Netflix $17 billion budget per year, meaning that the new streaming service could have more content coming out than 6 new content a week, which is what Netflix is doing right now. That could cause a huge drive toward the new streaming service. Now, what does this mean towards restoring the Snyderverse? Well, that would mean that now they have the budget to be able to restore it in the first place, since, as I said, AT&T just didn't have the money to spend on HBO Max. But now it would have the budget to restore the Snyderverse, to be able to make sequels to Justice League, or projects like the Cyber movie, or like the project of the Batman movie played with Ben Affleck, as well as the Ayer cut. So, there's the first thing that this merger means for restoring the Snyderverse, which is that they now have the budget to do it. So, let's move on to another thing this merger will mean for restoring the Snyderverse, and that is new leadership. This new company, and specifically the new streaming service, will now be under new leadership, meaning that people that didn't want to restore the Snyderverse could be completely gone, or could stay there but have way less power. This could benefit restoring the Snyderverse. However, this could also go a different way, which is that which could mean that the new leadership maybe doesn't want to restore the Snyderverse, but we don't know that yet, since we don't really know what the new leadership's thoughts are on restoring the Snyderverse. So here's a big gamble, because the new leadership could just really like the Snyderverse and restore it, and it could be great, or they could stay the same and just not want to restore it, like Warnermedia did as of right now with AT&T. So there's a huge opportunity for restoring the Snyderverse, especially since David Zaslav, I don't know how you pronounce that, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced it. If anybody knows how to pronounce it, leave it in the comments. But he's the new CEO of the new company. He said that he wants to have good relationships with talent. Warner Brothers used to have good relationships with talent, such as with Christopher Nolan, is probably the greatest example. And they also used to have a good relationship with Zack Snyder. But they messed that all up under the leadership that is on right now. But since the new leadership wants to fix that, well then, that could probably include Zack Snyder and the cast members like Ray Fisher, who doesn't want to work with the current leadership of Warner Brothers, since what happened in the Justice League reshoots with Joss Whedon. This really means we could have a cyber movie with the actor Ray Fisher, which just seemed impossible, but no longer seems impossible. Also, it is possible that Tommy Emmerich, maybe I mispronounced it, maybe I'm not, but he is one of the main people advocating against restoring the Snyderverse, could be gone, since he was partly guilty what happened in the Justice League reshoots, so he was really advocating against it, but he could possibly be gone, especially since Jason Kilar, who is the current CEO of Warner Media, is leaving, as an article came out today where it says that he is negotiating his departure. So it really depends on who the new CEO wants to keep and who he wants to kick out, so who he wants to have a good relationship with. However, there is a high chance that Zack Snyder is included in that list of who he wants to have a good relationship with, especially since he used to work with Warner Brothers a lot before the new leadership happened and messed up the whole thing. But I also think that he would want to restore the Snyderverse. Why? Well, let's move on to the third thing I think this merger means for restoring the Snyderverse. With the announcement this morning, there was a slideshow released, and that slideshow showed one of the main reasons why Discovery wants this merger to happen, which was that they want all the IP from Warner Media, specifically the big IPs, which specifically included a picture of the Snyder Cut. The new company is also going to expand globally, unlike HBO Max, which was only in the US. And this morning, they said they would experiment to create global hits. I think after seeing the massive success of the Snyder Cut globally, specifically in places like in China and in the UK, I think it's safe to say that they will at least try to use the IP of the Snyder Cut, at least of the Snyderverse, at least once to see how it does. So, and I think whenever they use it, it will turn out great, and I think it could just keep going and going and going until eventually Zack Snyder decides it should end. And so in conclusion, I think this merger means for the Snyderverse that they will now have the budget for it and the new streaming service, and that their new leadership has goals to have good relationships with talent, which could mean Zack Snyder, as well as they could be kicking out the people who are advocating against the Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse, and that they want IP that can expand globally, which sounds perfect for the Snyderverse as shown by the Snyder Cut. Please, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, it really helps a lot, and also subscribe if you want to see more content like this. As well as leave your comments down below on what you think about the whole merger, and if you think the Snyderverse will be restored. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and this is JFG Entertainment, out.